Good evening, everybody. It's late. I may not I may not be able to do a full-length stream tonight, but I will do my best nonetheless. Let me just see. I'm getting mixed messages from Twitch right now. Okay, I think I can at least start the game. So we're going to do some... What? I'm getting a couple of odd results from Twitch on the health of the stream. All right, there we go. Excuse me. Rocket game. It is the rocket game again. I like this one quite a bit. This was. I feel like I should. I always feel like I should give credit where credit is due. This is a game that was recommended to me by a viewer, Ellen Ripley, who actually I really enjoy. This is one of the funny things. Some viewers I've actually met through other streamers' channels. And like this is one, like I've definitely had a couple of cases where there are people who I kind of got accustomed to seeing inside my channel, and then they sort of went away after a while, and then I would see them very regularly in someone who I hosted. And it's always like, but like obviously you don't own people's attention, and clearly there was a better fit. So like I have been both the beneficiary, but also somebody who's like, oh, that's where they went. Yeah, see, I don't like calling it poached. I know exactly what you mean. I don't like calling it poached because it sort of implies this sort of ownership, which isn't there. But one of the things that I've really liked about it is that the community that I met Ellen Ripley through is someone, or like it's not one that's very consistent with the sort of stuff I'm interested in. Seduced. Words that do not belong anywhere near my stream. But yeah, like it was fun just to kind of out of nowhere get to know this viewer a bit better, because they're a really interesting person, and you know, not to assume some sort of like prejudice against certain communities, but like there are people, like there are channels where you go, you enjoy the time, but like you're not like, I don't know, there's a bunch of Twitch channels where I'm not expecting people to like talk about Derek Parfit or like, you know, Neoplatonism or something like that. And then there are some where, yeah, you know, they'll probably have some opinions on like art or something like that. I've actually found like this is something I was doing at work, and then just I happened to make a reference to an artist, and they didn't know who it was, so I kind of explain who they are, and then maybe a couple of other references, and they're like, oh, I didn't really know you were an art expert. I'm like, well, I'm not. I just like, I like what I like, but obviously there's very little about me that indicates that I am somebody who would necessarily know about art. But, you know, because of that film background, and specifically the camera department, you know, I think if you are somebody who wants to light scenes, like one of the kind of the it's not like a requirement, but like generally, if you ever hear like cinematographers worth their salt, they're very often going to be talking about, like the Dutch masters and, certain Renaissance style artists or I mean, I don't want to say Renaissance artists because it's not exclusively that, but like I'm thinking specifically like a Caravaggio, right? Something that kind of looks like it's the X-Files, the chiaroscuro shading, really dramatic poses, really dramatic moment. Like this is the sort of stuff that you can very easily see how it would inform like a Blade Runner or something like that. And sure, I mean, I always get to play the like old man yells at cloud thing and say like, commercial makers these days don't understand. I think they actually know perfectly well. I think probably the audience has maybe lost a bit of the maybe has lost a little bit of the reference, but like even then I think probably these are places where you'll see unexpected references. A good example will be there's an animated series on YouTube called Meat Canyon, and it would like if you could think of if there was a cartoon series that counts as like very online, it would be that, right? Like I think all of it, most if not all of its references would be sort of online culture stuff inside of it. This could be everything from like Haktua to certain YouTubers. Like I've probably learned more about who is popular on YouTube when a Meat Canyon video shows up in my recommended videos list than any watching of YouTube. But the thing is that there's like, I'm trying to remember exactly what it says. I think it was like Death of the Simp or something like that, and it's partly about the I guess people will refer to them as like NPC streamers. Like I think most people kind of know. If you know, you know. If you don't, I don't know. I don't think explaining it's really going to improve anything. But like in the video, like there is very obviously, in terms of like the visual style, there's like this really famous painting of Ivan the Terrible murdering or killing his son. And like you cannot see that cartoon and know that painting and see it as anything other than a very, very direct and deliberate reference to it. Which, I'll say is maybe not that hard to understand. I think people who work in the visual arts probably do take the time to learn their craft and, see what's come before. It's like the best possible, I mean, like this is the thing that's great about writing and reading too, but like in terms of the visual arts, you have thousands of years of great stuff to draw from. And what's great is that, like, for me, I'm pretty simple in terms of my tastes. I would say that, put something like a Caravaggio in front of me and I'll be like, that looks great, it has this like realistic look and, it's dramatic and it has all of the qualities that people enjoy. And it's only after I gained a little bit of a better appreciation for art in general that I started to gain a better understanding of maybe some more contemporary art. That contemporary is something that I actually still struggle a little bit with, but like something that's a little more avant-garde, or at least maybe at its time. It's weird to call like something from the early 1900s avant-garde. But yeah, like it's just one of these things where over time I gained a better appreciation for it. And I don't know, like it's one of these things where it's nice if you can come to terms with it on your own, so that way you are appreciating it as opposed to feeling like you need to make a certain gesture towards what people expect you to like. But in any case, like for me, there is a specific reason why I would look at this sort of stuff. So to me, it's maybe not so surprising that even if somebody's doing like silly or gross cartoons on YouTube, that you will see little references to styles of art or like, you know, inspirations. Because in the end, like, even if you're doing something very simple, you will, you know, there's probably a lot of training that is going behind that, and you know, you basically can't avoid your influences. But what I was pleasantly surprised by was the number of comments in that video that specifically highlighted the reference. And again, I'm not trying to suggest that it's like, oh, I think the Meat Canyon audience is a bunch of idiots, and you know, I realized that other people were just as smart as me. No, I don't think I don't think knowing these paintings is a mark of intelligence. But, you know, you have a certain expectation that comes from YouTube comments, and generally it isn't art appreciation. And particularly when you're watching it because of its sort of online culture references, you're not necessarily watching that stuff or you're not looking at the comments expecting people to see those references. But, oh, good. Yeah. I mean, this is, I think this is true in general. Like I always thought the eyes followed you. In general, like one of the things that I've liked the most about being a reader, and I'll even say maybe reconnecting with reading, because it's definitely a time where I didn't read as much as I feel I should have. Even now, like, I think I probably don't spend as much time as I should following through on this stuff. We will get to the game in just a minute, but I'm taking the opportunity to clean off my mouse a little bit, which I'm sure will have consequences in terms of just random clicks on things. One of the things I like the most in terms of reading, and I guess the specific kind of reading I do, because there's like, I think I mentioned that I'm a member of like a writers group, and one of the things that's always concerned me about that group is that I really get the impression that a lot of the participants only read young adult fiction. And like, even then, not even, let's say, breadth of young adult fiction. A lot of it really seems to be like The Hunger Games and its descendants. And I have no problem with The Hunger Games, right? Like, it's not to pick on that particular one. But like, I don't know, like, presumably young adult fiction would even include Treasure Island, right? Robert Louis Stevenson. And you know, it's more the idea of sort of the single note, and it does, to me at least, in terms of like reading the material, it does show like the lack of breadth in terms of reading, like, does come across in the like in the stuff that's brought up for review or critique. And like, in one sense, right, it's like people should read what they're interested in, but one of the big rewards for me in terms of like, I don't know, like enjoying reading and doing more of it is that it's one of these things that really does build on itself. So like, if maybe you didn't like, you could be someone who didn't like Shakespeare in school, but for whatever reason you wound up, maybe you went to a Shakespeare play, maybe you read something on your own, but for whatever reason you gave it another shot. Depending on which one you read, but I'd say for a lot of it, you know, maybe the language was a little old and you spent a bit more time on the glosses than you normally would, but you're like, actually that was pretty good. And so maybe you go back to some of the stuff that you did in school and you connect with it in a way that you didn't before. And I'm going to guess that probably a large part of that maybe has something to do with the fact that you don't have a test that you need to take, and that you don't feel like somebody's going to be, you know, evaluating on you as to whether or not you had the right take on it. You're just appreciating it for the work that it is. But then maybe you go a little bit further, and maybe you start reading Ovid. And then you realize, wait a minute, I've heard this before. And you find out, oh, this Bill guy, he read this same thing I read. And he liked it as much as I liked it. And I guess the big difference is that when he read it and liked it, he went out and wrote some absolute bangers. Yeah, it's one of these things where the more I do find, the more I read, the more I get to appreciate some of the things I have read. And I imagine that is going to be true right up to the last time that I read. Like, it's a sad thought, right? That at some point, and I'm hoping I don't know it, but like at some point I know I'm going to read my last book. Like, there's no more lifespan left, If I'm particularly lucky, maybe that moment will be while reading a book. But, like the, my hope would be that I don't just keep reading, but I continue to read in such a way that it continues to build, right? That it's not just that I enjoy the process of reading itself, but that I'm reading broadly enough that all of those things that were just lying under the surface for me to find and things that I liked, that, I discover more and more of them over time. This is why I also think it's important to pick the right books. So again, it's not, like I said, it's not when I think of the writers group, it's not so much a question of having an issue with the Hunger Games. I could say it for just about anything. Like, I don't know, if somebody was a maniac for Encyclopedia Brown and just only ever read that, I would probably have the same feeling. But it's really more just this idea that this is, like, I guess maybe I feel a little stronger about it in the context of a writing group, just simply because it does seem to me that there's more than just me who do have sort of a broader interest or a broader broader ambitions in terms of writing. And so I do sometimes wonder if there's as much value, right? Like, for me, I want to try and give as good as I get in terms of the material. And I definitely have felt a bit doubtful on some of the material that I get back in terms of comments, because it doesn't, like, in the end, obviously everything I write is perfect and I just need undying praise. But, like, for the most part, like, it's one of these ones where I'm like, this doesn't really seem right. Like, I can see why someone who likes a certain type of story would want this change, but this feels like a change that's like a poor structural fit. It'd be like, why doesn't Paradise Lost have spaceships in it, right? It's not for lack of reference, right? Lucian wrote a true story, over 1,000 years before Paradise Lost, but pretty sure over 1,000 years. Yeah, it would have to be. But yeah, like, I'm pretty sure Paradise Lost is not is not, a lesser work because it doesn't have a spaceship in it. And I suspect that probably if Paradise Lost were to be reduced down to a satire, it would maybe lose some of its power as well. So, anyways, I'm being an elitist. Let's enjoy Ingmar Bergman's Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop. I didn't pick this form, Wilbur. No more than you picked yours. This is just how I am when I stop trying to hold my deific gut in. I like my station side self. Always felt more like me than this. It's imposing, sure. Mighty, even. That's just not really my vibe these days. I wore it out, I think. Moved on. Flesh doesn't care about that, though, does it? Anyway, I'll see you back at the station, where I'm pleasantly round and devilishly handsome. Right. Let's buy some stuff. Your first run payment will be 280 and it's due in 3 days. I'll see you then. Let us hope our next conversation is a fruitful one. Again. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I don't need... I was going to say, like, I can get myself a little more space doing this, but on the odd chance something goes wrong, I technically lose all that stuff. And right now I only have one tab, so it's not like it... Not like it matters. All right. Let us begin. My ship is in disrepair. Time on the ground is blood unspilled. Enemies unslain. Make haste. Ah, well, there's your problem right there. All right. Oh, I think I finally got this. Apparently it wasn't perfect focus, but I'll take it. You have my gratitude, and the blessing of the gallant one. Spill blood in his name. Oil rebreather. Good day, sir. Please rehabilitate my sickly star wagon. Yeah, well, there's your problem right there. Also, that seems like pretty good focus. Damn. I probably don't need to do 2 runs of that, but I never know for sure. This is definitely taking longer than I wanted, though. Okay, seems like the rebreather's fine. Yeah, I'll take it. Cheers. Thank you. Appreciate it. So tomorrow's going to be where we really take off in terms of cash. Uh-oh. How many flavors of jerky do you guys sell? Actually, nah, don't tell me. I want it to be a surprise. Yeah, there ain't no Toms to fool here. I don't have an encoder. So I did not appreciate that I would get... Oh, they're just letting anyone fix ships these days, huh? Maybe I should apply myself. Clearly, it's not a competitive field. That's a bigger financial hit than I wanted, but it's better than fussing with something I know I'm not going to be able to do. Error. Information from this instance is restricted. Yeah, well, there's a problem right there. Right, is the bottom one that gets the fluid. Definitely doesn't compensate for the loss that we took, but... Suitable repair work detected. We shall now depart. I can do fuel pretty quickly. I could have died on the way over here. Hello, Schnendels. But I didn't. And then I met you. Now that's something, ain't it? All right. 1 minute to get the water. Hey, I don't know who you are up there. Come back here tonight. I want to talk. So, still deep in the hole, but I'm hoping that the improvements we got will cover the cost. Well, thanks a million. I just bet Drew's that you'd screw this up. At least he believes in you. All right. So I'm going to unpack everything and then we'll do... This is your favorite game, so you check out on people who are playing. That's great to hear. It was actually a viewer that recommended this to me. I definitely fall into all the traps that the game leaves for me. And then I actually take a few occasional breaks, let's say, from the game. So I unlearn some of what I've learned. But I've been trying some variety, particularly because I didn't realize what the vending machines did until quite a bit later. So as you can see from the negative amount here, I've been getting increasingly risky in terms of what the kind of hole that I dig myself into. But you know, it's has a sort of intent. Like once I sort of figure out what my limit is in terms of buying what I can over the course of the day. Like the aim here is to not dig myself into a hole that I can't overcome, but to get enough that I can sort of build some momentum for the later parts. Yep, there it is. Go deal with that ship and I'll deal with the dead guy. But we won't. We're gonna unpack all the goodies. You didn't come last night. Tonight's your last chance to talk. Otherwise, bad shit might start to happen around here. So I'm guessing probably, Schmendels, you have completed the game? I'm assuming, but probably if with the level of dedication you've indicated, that feels like a safe bet. Cool. I am actually kind of curious. So I believe the developer behind this is called Beard Envy. Are they currently working on anything like as a follow-up, or is it did they leave on a high and Uncle Chops is all that we have to mark their existence on the game development scene? Okay, I should check it out. And as fascinated as I would be for a Uncle Chop's extended universe, I'm quite content to see what the people who actually there's one of the reasons this was recommended to me. It's something that I still believe, but the reason why the person who recommended this to me did so is that I've had a belief that basically humor is sort of underrated in game development. It's not to suggest that there aren't funny games, but what I believe is that there are fewer funny games than sort of the market wants, for lack of a better term. I think there's a few reasons for that, right? Like, I'm going to take advantage of the small break that I have here. Actually, you know, we can do this between sessions. Right, I'm off. Hold the fort. But like, if you want people to take you seriously, it's you do serious themes. But the thing is that people want to enjoy games that they're playing, and like almost everyone likes laughing, right? It's it's really hard to imagine. Far out. You're a freaky looking dude, ain't you? Well, there's your problem right there. But yeah, it's basically a universal wish. But again, it's not necessarily the sort of thing that you associate with awards. Like, if you just think of, like, it's not to suggest that there have never been comedies to win Oscars, but I'm gonna bet that I could name many more great comedies that were never considered for Oscars. And then if you were to think of, or if somebody asked you, it's like, what won Best Picture last year, right? Depending on how big of a movie buff you are, you may actually struggle to remember even last year's, like, let alone like what won Best Picture 5 years ago, or like name, 3 Best Picture winners from the last 10 years, or anything like that. I probably could have refilled the water or the fluid on the other one. So whether or not people feel that it's as quote unquote respectable, I really do feel games like this like really hit the spot, because so many people don't necessarily think of what value humor like this provides, right? And it's not even to say, like, this is a good game, full stop. But the fact that I've got a stupid grin on my face half the time is, like, it's hard for me. Oh, thank you very much for the follow. It's really hard to think of as many games that do that. So, hello, Vanguard Master. How you doing? Vanguard Master is a game developer, just for context, so we need to convince him to be funnier. Catch you around. I think we can risk the question mark. Identification module. Brother, my vessel is sick. It requires attention. Yeah, well, there's your problem right there. Good enough. Your Rococo Cube. I have no idea what that is, Vanguard. But yeah, but obviously, Vanguard, whenever you're ready to share your stuff, don't wait. You did, but I didn't know your socials got hacked. The Discord that I met, Ellen Ripley, who recommended this game to me, actually was. I don't want to say hacked. Like, it's not like they went in and, like, broke into Discord or something like that. I'm assuming that, like, the streamer I know, like, reused a password or got phished or something like that. But anyway, doesn't matter. But what was I going to say? Did I tell you the story? You said, funny, you think this is a joke? Is this a joke to you? Like, I actually had someone at a game jam say that to me, like for an idea that everyone was excited about. I can't remember if I've told you that story or not, but like I have had someone seriously say, oh, okay, yeah, I don't know anything about mocap suits other than the fact that they're very unflattering. But yeah, I don't know if that was what you were referencing. All right, anyways, you have proven yourself valuable, brother. You will be consumed gladly. Personal Insta got hacked and got banned. Then the game one got banned for being associated with a banned account because you're logging on the same phone as your personal one. You troublemaker. Turnip Boy. Yes, actually, there was there's a recent one, right? Turnip Boy robs a bank. Oh, wow, that's a unique smell. Actually, if you can give me a sec. Sorry, I'm like really sidetracked tonight. But let me just take a quick look and see if I can find. Huh. I really thought I had a Turnip Boy game in my library. Two of my favorite pastimes. I do have... Oh, actually, I have both. I'm going to install these after the stream. This is an old one, but I am curious. I actually really like Tom Francis's... Actually, you know what? This is something I'd be willing... Let's... I'll wait till the day is done, but do you know much about Tom Francis's studio, Suspicious Developments? So they would have done... Gunpoint is the one I'm specifically thinking of, but they have a more recent game. What the hell am I working on? Unfuck the shitter. All right. Ah, well, there's your problem right there. Thank you, Shortless. Neat, appreciate it. All right, I can't extend the day, but we should have time for at least one more big one. Tomfoolery it is. We all have to decide how to spend our lives. It's unavoidable. There's a choice to make. And this was yours? A fine choice, perhaps. Time will tell. Okay. After the day's work is done, I'm going to show you a trailer. And I'm actually not going to say the name because I feel that the name of the game on its own is already worth like 100 sales. Thomas Foolery of the Nova Scotia Tomfooleries. All right, level 1. Don't tell anyone I was here. Got it? Well, if you want, the trailer I'm not going to show you is their first one called Gunpoint. This guy used to be a reviewer for PC Gamer and then made Gunpoint, which is, I think, probably, in my opinion, it's some of the funniest writing that I've seen in a game. And I think the trailer does a pretty good job of giving you an idea of the tone. Remedy my craft, that I might continue my vacuous undertaking. Alright, oil, and unfuck the shitter. Ah, well, there's a problem right there. What is this guy doing to his pumps? Oh, hang on. We don't judge here at Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop, Vanguard. Nailed it. Is there a revelation about the donuts in this game? I don't think I'm familiar. Excellent work, brother. Admirable care. All right. Interesting. There had been a suggestion, but I've obviously tried to keep myself a bit in the dark about where all of this is going, because like I've gotten some sort of like impressions in terms of where some of it's going, but like I haven't gotten far enough to be able to like really lock in on some of the details. So, but I had definitely gotten an impression that there were multiple endings to the game. So that's interesting that is the case. I guess I can keep the tomfoolery up. Okay, I'm gonna just run the volume down. So I feel I'll actually go for an old trailer to this one. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Especially because I asked the question, right? Like, I would be mean if I said, it's like, no spoilers, when I said, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know if there was, or that's right, if I'd said, you know, what, do the donuts relate to the game? Vanguard, you can't stay for, like, one of my favorite game trailers? All right, let me just, this would be for any XCOM fans, of which I would count myself. Cute safe house. It's Mama's place. She's at bingo. Chasing a multi-billion-dollar private military by public transport is surprisingly hard. Surprisingly? I don't know if the narration helps. I don't know how visible it is on stream. Can't throw all of life's problems through windows, Jen. Maybe not, but we owe it to ourselves to try. Oh, come on! If we stop World War V, I hope someone gives us a lift home. Agreed. How good are you at dodging ghost cars filled with angry skeletons? Never made it past regionals. Also, the fact that the website is called wizards.cool is great. But yeah, so Tactical Breach Wizards, first of all, I feel is a... like, automatically, that's a sight unseen purchase for some people. As instructed, defenestrate everyone. I believe this is the third of the defenestration trilogy, beginning with Gunpoint, continuing with Heat Signature, and reaching its thrilling climax with Tactical Breach Wizards. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, the one thing that's tricky about it is it's in 3 parts. So if you would like, I can pause at each word. Oop. Let's try that again. Tactical! Breach! Oh, was there? My bad. Oh yeah, you're right. That is way more useful for you. I will actually also share, too, this may be of interest to Vanguard, but I do happen to know that this game developer has... Yeah, no worries. It is very much like Into the Breach Underwater Monk. In fact, I know one of the design pillars behind this was to, like, that whole rewind system is, it would be, there's a way that I can say this that makes me sound like an ass. So, like, it's just, I happened to be at a party in which the developer, was present, and I had a brief chat with him. He was very nice and also very humble. And from what I understand, one of the intentions behind this game was he wanted to create the impression of like those really brilliant XCOM turns or Into the Breach turns where like you feel like a tactical genius, but you are like the rest of us where you do not have, this galaxy brain. And so he implements this rewind feature to allow you to iterate over as many turns as you want to set up those very impressive ones. And it's like the level of sort of like, obviously it is very counter to how most gamers conceive of themselves as like, very John Gamerson player of games. But obviously that is like a very smart game developer realizing what the customer wants as opposed to what they say they want. And I think that was a very smart move on his part. All right. So yeah, Vanguard. Well, I mean, this is for anybody, but one of the things that I really like that he's done is he has actually done a Unity tutorial on YouTube. So effectively, this is like one of the things I did give him a thank you for, because like I I would not consider myself a game developer by any ordinary definition of the word. Like, I look at game industry stuff, I write about game industry stuff. I am not a practitioner. That's probably not what that's not what my biggest added value is. But as somebody who plays and streams games, I think stuff like that, particularly someone who has found success, right? Like, it's one thing for someone who you don't necessarily know of as like a successful game developer doing a tutorial, because your ability to teach is not necessarily the same as your ability to deliver good, successful games. They're actually quite independent skill sets. No problem, Schmendel. Sorry to spend so much time not talking about Uncle Chops, but I can assure you I will be playing this game again, and hopefully when you're back I'll be a little bit better for my experience. But thank you for hanging out. It was actually a real pleasure to have you in here, and I do hope you get a chance to check out some of Suspicious Development stuff, because I actually think they're a really impressive developer. And if you like laughing during games, definitely Gunpoint and Tactical Breach Wizards for sure. And I actually think Heat Signature is not bad, but the big laughs for me came from Gunpoint and Tactical Breach Wizards. But yeah, I think one of the things that's nice is that that tutorial series is from someone who has found success in gaming, taking people through how to make a game in Unity. And what I like about that, and I do consider myself lucky to have been able to express this, is that I think as somebody who plays and streams games, that there will be a bunch of game developers who go from I wish I could make a game to I'm going to make a game, having seen something like that. And it's very hard to quantify the benefit that that comes from that, but I think it's something that I wanted to acknowledge. So for those of you that have maybe been thinking, hey, maybe I could make a game, Tom Francis, right, went from a reviewer for PC Gamer to a game developer, someone who makes money doing this stuff, and he has in fact put together a YouTube series on how to make games, so for what it's worth. Okay, I guess I gotta get some sleep. Actually, I guess we were told we should go to the speakeasy before. See, I never thought there was much for me to do at the speakeasy. Drink? Yeah, so this is one that I found kind of interesting, is that I haven't actually found a purpose for the speakeasy, but as Schmendel's pointed out, apparently it's more than just a jukebox. Ooh, I want the chunky. But I do need to pay rent tonight, so... Sorry, I burnt the coffee this morning. I should really know better. You didn't come last night. Tonight's your last chance to talk. Otherwise, bad shit might start to happen around here. Fix the suspicious beeping. That noise is unusual, right? You have no chance, Foxman. Fix, please. Okay. Ah, well, there's your problem right there. We have rent! TikTok fucks, man. TikTok. Get off my platform. Yellow. Sup, nerd? Nice jorts. Not. Ah, well, there's a problem right there. Sacre bleu! That's more like it. Beat it! Hey, hey, look at that! You should be proud. Maybe go call someone and let them know how well you did. You may find value in the wares I possess, but I require something valuable in return, something that cannot be replenished. Time is what I desire. Tell me, are you prepared to relinquish time for material gain? Yes. Well, let's look over your options. First, some omens, shall we say 14. I'd require 220 time. How does that sound? Yeah, why not? Excellent. Let's see what's next. Second, a shop sale tomorrow. That would cost 50. What do you think? No. You may come to regret that. That is all for now. I'll linger no longer. Okay, I may regret the star map, but I bet I can guess your name. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Sven. Yeah, I don't even need to ask. You're such a Sven. Well, there's a problem right there. The hell else was I doing? Star map. Yeah, well, there's a problem right there. Christ, what was I looking for? Right, here we go. Uh-oh. Did I forget the... Damn it. Okay, and obviously I need another map. Later, nerd. See you never. Astieni. That is a name. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Long time. How are you doing? Thank you very much for the host. Please forgive me. I am trying not to lose. The ship is all I have left. Do well by it. Ah, well, there's your problem right there. Crap. I guess my next question is, how many of you are familiar with Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop? This is a real gem that someone recommended. I'm happy to explain as best as I can, but I'm under the gun right now, so... Nailed it. Great. All right. First of all, let's do a shout out here. For any of you who have joined in this lovely raiding party, what were you playing? What were you watching tonight? As for me, I'm playing Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop. This is a delightful game. This is the reason someone recommended this to me is I have had the belief that humor is underserved in terms of gaming. What I mean by that is not that I don't mean that there are no funny games. What I do mean, though, is that there are fewer funny games than there is demand for funny games. And I have some opinions in terms of why that specifically is the case. But what this means, because I rant on this so much, people will very often recommend funny games to me. And someone said that even though they've not played it themselves, they felt that Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop is very much the sort of thing that they could see me enjoying. And they were 100% right. So the game involves an instruction manual, right? So you inherit a grimoire. In fact, very specifically, there's some instructions. Item and contents are soulbound. Soul number 6542. Retroseed by any means necessary. Note, a soulbind is immutable and only released upon the soulbindee's death. In the event of the soulbindee's death, the next recipient will be soulbound. So you are tied to this manual. So these are all the modules that you will fix at this sort of interstellar gas station. As you can see, the instructions are somewhat complicated. So for those of you that like games like the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, that is a surprisingly apt analogy, actually. But yeah, for those of you that like games like let's say Keep Talking or Nobody Explodes, or just general games that sort of let the chaos reign, this is very much in that spirit. I will mention that there is a more relaxed mode which doesn't keep you on the clock. Like basically the mode I'm playing has a pretty aggressive timer, and that'll count down as I'm trying to do the things. But there's another mode, but basically people are a little more tolerant of screw-ups. Whereas if in the other mode, you have to do it perfectly, but you don't face the same kind of time constraint that you do in this particular mode. I have resisted as much as I can to do that other mode because I think I would be better at it. But I feel, and I think I would get better at the game, like I would understand the modules more if I played that. But I think a lot of the pleasure of this game, and particularly the pleasure of watching someone play the game, is to watch the chaos unfold and you know, have someone sort of lose their mind trying to scramble through the what am I going to say? The grimoire while they're trying to do the jobs. So in any case, definitely one where if you don't buy it outright, definitely recommend a wish list, and hopefully I will be able to show you some. I'll be able to show you some gameplay to further entice you. We're also in we have to do our first rent payment, so it's not a bad time to stop by. Hello, valued devotee. I have come to collect your first rent payment of 280. Thank you, valued devotee. Your generosity has been noted. I will return when your next rent is due. It'll be $8.50. Goodbye, valued devotee. So those are omens. Those are the, I don't want to say premium currency because that implies that this is like a live service game. But you can use these in the vending machine. So for instance, what I am working towards now, not puppy eyes. I don't even remember where this was. There you go. Permanent electric screwdriver. So when I get to 75, I save myself 100 coins. But on top of that, I also get it at the start of the run. So I'm just a little bit faster at the start. So it is, as described on the Steam page, a roguelike fix-em-up. Now, if I recall correctly, I've got a couple things to weld. I have one thing to weld. Right. Let's... Oh, hang on. Before I do that, I'm gonna expand... Definitely take the chunky. try the small loss flipper. And screw it, gumball machine too. I haven't actually needed to use a gumball before, but I figure getting that taken care of now wouldn't be a bad idea. Oh, crap. This is just typical. Damn it, Paul, you're such a piece of shit. Oh, hey. Sorry about this. I wasn't prepared for this bloody weather. I'll be gone in a couple days. Just gotta wait for a replacement doodad. It'll be here in a couple days. You're worthless, Paul. Everybody would be better off without you. Doodad. First run? Not too shabby, kid. Not too shabby. You didn't come last night. Tonight's your last chance to talk. Otherwise, bad shit might start to happen around here. I'm gonna guess I can't weld the doodad, but it's worth trying. Okay, so I've already got the... Now, I'm gonna pack up the welder. So I'm probably not going to use something like the welder during rush. I am going to read the fine manual for once. So... Platform agnostic module configuration. Distinct random layers, textured field, delicious looking, not edible. Cool. All right. Looks like we're gonna go to work. Fix the cockpit module, fix the cooler, reactor present. Check immediately. I might lick the cutlery when you're not looking. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. Okay, we're probably dead. Yeah, well, there's your problem right there. Cooler? What am I doing? Okay, that should be fine. So let's say reactor, fix the cockpit. I've never had to do the cockpit module before. Okay, so we're gonna learn something. One of these, 3. Holy hell. Before commencing mechanical repairs, turn ignition key a few times. Sometimes the engine will just start and nothing is actually wrong. Otherwise, see why won't my engine start below. Ignore this, just break the bulb and be done with it. No one will know a thing. The easiest way to break the bulb is to crisscross the wires in the fuse tester and press the test fuse button. Yes, I am actually going to need to learn what to do now. Or I can ignore it and make turn that loss into a gain. Should there be like a light here somewhere? Fuel pump. Uncover and flip the fuel pump switch A. Warning, when active, the pump will rapidly drain fuel. Ensure fuel pump switch is off once the engine is started. Okay. Oil temperature. Ensure oil temperature is above 50%. To increase it, toggle the oil heater switch until the oil lamp reaches the desired level. What's the desired level? Sure not that. Throttle settings. Ensure the throttle settings match. Oh, it's got to be above 50%. Okay. Gumball interface. Looks like I finally need to... Okay. Gumballs are present and compatible with each interface. As described in the Gumball documentation. Damn it! I'm going to spend all day figuring this out, but it's good for me. Okay. That didn't tell me anything. So I'm just going to grab an assortment and hope for the best. Okay, clearly that's not it. Oh boy. Ah, the Gumball interface is underneath. I mean, I see. Crap. Okay, Okay. I think one of those is wrong, but honestly at this point let's take the wins we can get. Okay. Oh, that was so close. Okay, pink, yellow, orange. No, that's not it. Damn it! Okay. Towing fee. All right. So I lost 400 off of that. Oh man, I didn't even touch the refuel. Yeah, so that was bad, but I learned. This was poopy. Really, really poopy. And if I'm being totally honest with you, you should probably feel poopy. Fuck yeah! First rent down. You're killing it. Yeah. Hey, my part arrives in a couple days. I'll be out of your hair then. I should just jump off this station now and save everyone the trouble. I didn't realize there was a second cat. Alright, Dark One's Shit Eater. Oh. Well, now I just need a bobblehead and a willing initiate. Okay, this is apparently going to be a very expensive oil module. To think that you exist in these conditions. The Golden One weeps for you, child. Yeah, well, there's your problem right there. Come on. You possess no coin, and nothing else of value either. I can't help but pity you, child. You ever see a ghost? Do you know that you lose your legs when you die? Like your soul does, not your body. Wild. Okay, well, there's your problem right there. Oh my god. I can never remember how to fix the crazy gravity on this thing. Destructively rapid rotation of the planet indicates a pancake problem. That doesn't seem right, but... Oh yeah, nope. There's your problem right there. What kind of a pancake do you need? Okay, black and orange. Okay. I wish I was a little more efficient at this, but... Completely forgot a couple of the important ones, but... Okay, that works. What the hell am I looking for now? Right. Okay, one of these, turn it on. Thank God. Okay. Unfuck the shitter. Well, there's your problem right there. Okay. Broken Realm. This is a relatively straightforward one, so happy about that. Not so happy about the amount of time it took me to do all of this, but I'm hoping we get a big return. Beautiful. Are you drunk or something? Unprofessional. You only YOLO once, damn it. Alright, I'll take the omens. No way I'm doing Clifford on that. What's for dinner? Let me know if you want me to rustle up something before I close shop. Alright. Got some welding to do. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring the tree. I'm trying to remember if it's the boss fight next. I think that happens on rent day. It is also maybe worth noting that I do not actually have rent yet, so I do need to make sure I actually deliver on one of the goals. But I'm not convinced this one's lost. Tomorrow's the day, then you'll never have to see me again, unless you somehow fuck up leaving, Paul, you piece of shit. Well, here we go again. This must be him. Hologram's fucked. Devotee! As part of the Uncle Chop's reward program, you have been granted additional work. Congratulations. I am also happy to inform you that as a result of your recent performance records, you have been granted hog work permissions. Now, to the matter at hand. You will have already noticed some technical issues with my current appearance. I shouldn't have to explain to you the severity of breaching brand guidelines. It damages the very fabric of what we do. But you won't let that happen, will you? No, you won't. Don't keep me waiting. Okay, well, we're gonna fix that. And we gotta pancake that. But first things first. Okie dokie. Okay, white and black. What the hell is taking so long? For keeping me waiting this long, you better be going the extra mile by, say, refilling my fuel tanks. Okay, let's start with the eyes. Ah! Okay, good enough. Two oranges. Damn, you're being slow. I got places to be. Make this worth my while. Fix my oil. Okay, now on to the thing I'm worst at. Oh my god! Orange and black, alright. I am wondering, can I get away with, I can. Okay, green's way off there. I mean, that's not terrible. Let's focus on the oil. That sounds like the... Yeah. Cool. So, fixed pixelated. So I noticed it doesn't give me like perfects on that, but I'll take this. Guess who couldn't sleep, so came back for some more Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop. Well, that's a very welcome return. I haven't really beaten the this boss fight all that much. I'm weakest by far on the RGB control, and obviously I do things. I definitely I take a while to do these things, but I'm pretty happy with how that went. You continue to impress. This'll give me leverage with corporate. I'm about to turn things up. Don't get complacent. Hey, we can buy something cool. All right, let me just see. I don't think we have anything broken we need to get back, so. Good job with Chop today, Wilbur. Ah, yeah, I do. So far, I will actually say one of the things that's been kind of nice about this, and this is something that I feel is, how do I put it? This is a really easy thing for me to overlook in games that I like. I like the fact that this game does a great job of giving you a good time when you're failing at it. So, I am appreciating more and more how deep that goes. So I am definitely aware of the fact that there are sort of more, I don't know, mysteries and encounters and just like there's lots of beyond the like repair stuff. There's definitely more than meets the eye. So like a good example, I've got the shit eater now. Oh, sorry, that's page 1, isn't it? Or I thought it was anyway. Clearly not. Oh, here we go. So I could figure out an item once broken, an item from another time. For whatever reason, I didn't think to put the card in until now. So these are the two. I'm wondering if Paul is the willing initiate, but yeah, like I'm not going to try and do anything with Paul until I figure out Bobblehead. But overall, like, this is clearly something that I'm not 100% clear on, but I am sufficiently engaged to keep an eye on what's going on. And so, you know, in addition to the fact that this is, even though like I'm getting clobbered by the game most of the time, it's fun to fail. I think more importantly, like I don't know if you've ever heard of, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but there's a game that I play that is reasonably popular among the people who found me, called Cultist Simulator, and it has a follow-up game called Book of Hours, and that's one where it sort of has a tutorial, but like not really. It's at the very least, it's not a tutorial in the way that people tend to expect a tutorial from the games, and like kind of the point of Cultist Simulator was it's a game that you learn by playing, and like you're, in this case, like it's about the occult. You're someone who's been given a yeah, no, definitely different from Cult of the Lamb. But the thing that's interesting about Cultist Simulator is that like the character you play is someone who's been given sort of a glimpse at this sort of special and complicated world in the background. Yeah, I mean, like Cult of the Lamb is kind of a little bit of like it has an element of like the base building and stuff like that. Whereas I would say that Cultist Simulator is driven by cards, but it's above all a narrative game. But it's definitely one, like, if you don't like reading, you will hate Cultist Simulator. And if you don't like feeling lost, you are going to hate Cultist Simulator. But it was a game that was very much designed as what the developers call a Marmite game. Marmite is this spread that provokes you may know what it is, but just for the benefit of people in chat who don't know this, like it provokes very, very strong opinions. Like the people who like it love it, and the people who dislike it with a kind of volcanic fury that does not match. Yeah. No, definitely. It would be very difficult to describe any of the Secret Histories games, so Book of Hours and Cultist Simulator, as sandbox games. But again, like that's a different style for me. Sorry, that's a different style from a normal game, but it's a style of game that I like, where it almost promotes feeling lost to a certain extent, because it's a game where you are very much in the shoes of the character, somebody who's been given a glimpse into this bigger occult world, but only a glimpse, and you need to figure out what that means. And likewise, in the case of Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop, you're given the grimoire, but obviously the time pressure that's on you is pretty significant, and it's obviously a couple of the things they deliberately make fun of you for not reading all the way through, despite the fact that of course you're going to be skimming it in a rush. Actually, maybe I should, for the people who haven't see, this is an example of one of the traps that the game lays for you. There we go. Nell's Remedy Lever. All it takes is a tug. Follow closely the instructions enclosed. If the light is green, do not pull the lever. If the light is red, pull the lever. In the event that the user erroneously pulls the lever, see the page on fuck-ups. Nell's Remedy Lever. In the event of a fuck-up, dwell on your mistake. This could have been avoided by reading just 10 words 2 pages prior. Now reconfigure wires to match the diagram below. If fuck-up tally exceeds 5 strikes, consider Nell's liquid lobotomy. Right now, they know full well what they're doing, spreading these instructions over 3 pages, right? Hey, Corb. You're probably just going to pull the lever to see what happens. And then you get this complicated item in here. So definitely, this is the thing. You get to have a little bit of a laugh. Oh, that is great. Did you, print it out, or did they do a special edition where you get to buy a printed copy of it? That would be a great idea for this game, to have a physical version that you could get. You printed it, cool. The Zachtronics games, actually, so Exapunks in particular, has an in-game zine, and it does recommend, or not recommend, it encourages you to print and staple together the zine. I really like Exapunks. But yeah, so anyway, this is a good example in terms of, in my opinion, how you can have a lot of fun in this game despite being sort of in a position of ignorance. But likewise, clearly at some point I'm going to find out what's going on with Cycle OS. But it's not today. The back cover is why they don't want to print it. Oh, are you talking about the upside down cross? Isn't it St. Paul's cross? The holiest of crosses? All right. So this doesn't grant me any benefit on this run, but what it does mean is I don't need to spend 200 on speeding things up. All right. So I'm just going to finish my beverage. Coffee at 11 is not... No, I know. It's one of the things I find so funny. So, sorry, just give me a second here. there is some irony in the iconography. And I don't know, like, this is one of the things where there's probably a period of time where I think this actually kind of relates to some of the literature stuff we were talking about at the start of the stream. For the Canadians, I'm rolling up the rim, but I'm definitely not winning. But yeah, so one of the things I find funny about this one, I'm not paying attention in Sunday school or anything, but there's a, depending on the region you live in, and I think this is also an age thing as well, because obviously societies in general are getting more secular. But whether or not you can take it for granted that people are familiar with something like the Bible, right? So if you read Paradise Lost, that's kind of written assuming that everybody roughly knows the main stories. Whereas today, I actually imagine that that you probably couldn't take that for granted. But I don't recall if it's actually. You know what? I will take a quick look. I should look this up rather than just. Sorry, I'm like now invested. I realize this makes for terrible. Holy hell, did I get that wrong? St. Peter, sorry, wrong P. But yeah, so the there is some irony with this particular image. So again, I think most people correctly, right? I'm not trying to suggest that this is wrong, but I think most people identify an upside down cross as sort of this inversion of a religious symbol, and so sort of the antithesis of it. And it is considered, you would consider that an anti-Christian symbol. The irony of it, and I do think this is not, I would actually probably suggest that there are probably more people who use it as an anti-Christian symbol who are familiar with this background than Christians who are familiar with this background. But St. Peter, the tradition is that Peter was crucified, but as either a symbol of sort of humility or, unworthiness, requested that he not be crucified the same way as Christ, right side up, but instead that he's crucified upside down. So in this case, the inverted cross is also a symbol of great holiness and piety, in that you would not want to be crucified the same way as the Savior of mankind. And so it has two completely opposing meanings. But like I said, the one thing I will say is that usually the people who will understand those symbols, they're not dumb. And so I would actually argue that probably more people who use it as an anti-Christian symbol are also probably familiar with that story, rather than people who would be believers. I don't know how widely known that is, but so there you go. For those of you who did not know the story of the upside down cross, there are actually two completely different meanings depending on which set you want to work with. I also learned I'm well, it's like it's really just the story. Like I don't even know if there's a historical basis to the actual. I don't know if this was a genuine upside down crucifixion that occurred, but that's at least the historical tradition of the inverted cross. What was I going to say before? There's something I was going to say before that. I've lost it. All right, let's see if there's something in the vending machine. Energy drink? Maybe? He's gonna fire me. That would be funny if they added that into the... Looks like a nice day today. Get out there. Oh, no, that's fine. I think the thing for me is that I'm enjoying the mystery enough. Like, I think if I get to a point where I'm feeling quite confident in what I'm doing and I haven't figured out the bobblehead thing, I'd ask for help. But right now I'm enjoying, like, I'm getting enough out of the experience right now that I don't feel the need to ask for help. But the one thing I will say, because I know some people really do enjoy being able to share some stuff that they like, I'm actually quite happy to, when the time comes, if I break and I want help, if I don't have someone in the chat that will do it, I will look it up. But if I know there's somebody in the game in the channel who knows the game well, I will definitely be happy to ask. I'm gonna lose it on Clifford. One day a dark tide will arrive at your shoreline. Black waves will lap at your feet. The question is, will you welcome them? Okay, I gotta do, like, everything, basically, so... Oh, that's no good. So I'm assuming this is where I gotta... Cool. I've never once consulted that guide, but I like the fact that that was intuitive enough for me to figure that out. Definitely feels like something I can take. Oh, well, there's your problem right there. Oh, man, they're really throwing me all the hard stuff now. There's no way this is going to work. All right, let's get Pancake in. It's just got to be 2 of anything. Well, that's not gonna work. Oh, right. All right. Damn it. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm curious how I'm going to react to this game once I kind of know what I'm doing. But like I said, it's I never really appreciated how I never really appreciated how good this game is at like not making me feel like a complete loser for messing stuff up. Like to feel like this is a natural part of the experience and that it's okay to screw up is it's something that I think is easy to take for granted, but is kind of some of the secret sauce that makes this game work so well. This game is for losers. System Chalk. That's a box quote. All right, let's try no. Let's do the rebreather. Should be easy. There you go. Okay, star map next. Star map is something I know I can do. The AI is the thing that I need the practice on. Well, there's your problem right there. Oh, you bastards. How am I supposed to do this? God damn it. Okay. Pretty sure I need a cartridge as well. No! All right, I'm gonna just scream YOLO on this one and all right, let's see what's up with the AI. I don't even have the beginnings of a theory of how to fix this. Okay. He's going berserk. Congratulations, you royally fucked How much you want to bet there's some problems there? There's no way I'm going to get this done on time, so at the very least I can not have them penalize me for... yeah, just a few... just a few problems with the AI module there. Oh, so they want me to properly fix the lever rather than just work around it. Okay, that's fair. Obviously, I probably could have come out even further on this, but honestly, we're okay. Like we don't have a negative out of it. No, I agree completely, Schmendels. I think the best example of this for me was a narrative game. Like it's a good game. It's called Observer. It's by Bloober Team, who did Layers of Fear, and I thought they did a good game. But there's, in my opinion, two compounding errors that they made it less of an experience than I liked. So there's two endings, and it basically boils down to a decision that you make at the very end of the game. And one, I feel, is quite a bit more thematically relevant to the story, and the other one just sort of feels like a little bit like what you're describing, which is they wanted to add another ending, or maybe people were unhappy, or they were worried people would be unhappy, and so they did a different take on it or something. But yeah, I'm curious if there's any more to the end of this. But the second problem, and why I consider this a compounding error, is that they took the you can't just load the game before that other ending. You actually have to play the whole way through. And while I like the game, I don't feel that there's enough in that game for me to want to play an entire second run to just see what the other ending is. And when I found the other ending, I actually thought, like I said, it was much better than the one that I'd gotten before. And so, to me, I think there needs to be a certain confidence in the ending that you've written to stick with it. Or, as Uncle Chops does, give that variety, but like commit to it and make sure that that's part of the game. I don't know. Anyways, so you happen to touch on something that is a little bit of a pet peeve of mine in other games, and I am pleased that Uncle Chops does not fall into that trap. Brother, I must declare you excommunicate. This has been a grievous insult. Welcome back, Vanguard Master. You've missed top tier... Oof, I'm pretty sleepy, buddy. You must be wiped. You've missed top tier Uncle Chops gameplay. I'm wondering if maybe while this thing's being loaded, I might be able to take it off. What the hell is this thing? I do not doubt that you know it. The importance is that I don't know it. And I am happy to... I'm happy to let the game do its thing. I trust... The biggest thing for me is I trust the developers of this game to have made it in such a way that I will have the enjoyment of the penny dropping when it comes down to it. Now, Clifford has actually caused me a little bit of trouble a couple of times. So I'm going to take a minute here to read through the manual page. It's not so much that I think I'm going to be able to do it without the manual next time, but it's more, I didn't even really have a theory of the case when I ran into Clifford, so I think I'd like to go... I think I'd like to go a bit... I'd like to at least do a first pass on it, so I don't screw up. Is this because you've... well, I mean, you added to the demand, right, Vanguard Master? There's only like 2 people who like dark chocolate, so, you know, by being the third one, you increased the demand for dark chocolate by 33%, and, you know, you got to raise the price to make sure that it matches the supply. That's how economics works. Who is Clifford? Clifford is the go-to AI ship assistant, effective across a range of applications. Clifford is built with cutting-edge emotion technology. All right, power is the... Well, we knew that. Display, XP selector, processor, right, and the pancake. Module power switch, power control. Ensure power is being supplied before diagnosing issues with other module components. Once work is complete, ensure power is returned to default setting of 5. Misuse of other AI components may trip the fuse. Follow instructions below to reset the fuse. Power down, flip the switch, then raise it back up to 5. Alright, display, B1 is mood, B2 is traits, B3 emotional shutdown counter, and B4 cartridge socket. Identifying Clifford's moods, neutral, angst from left to right, then top to bottom. Neutral, anxious, bored, happy, love, shy, angry, sad, scared. A blank display indicates emotional shutdown has occurred, see section B3. Erratically switching between moods indicates a faulty processor, see section D. So that's probably at least one of the things I was dealing with. Mood. Check the target mood sticker on the upper right corner of the module. If Clifford is already in the target mood, no action is needed. Otherwise, proceed to the next step. Consult the chart overleaf to determine trait values required to achieve target mood. Run XPs, see section C to shift the mood target. Repeat steps 2 to 3 as necessary. All right, have a great night, Schmendels. I hope you have a little more luck getting to sleep than last time. Traits. Each set of 2 columns on Clifford's display represents a pair of opposed traits. Opposed traits cancel each other out, as illustrated below, with any excesses resulting in net values used by Clifford to determine its current mood. Mood calculation example. So in this case, joy, 1 joy, 3 misery, 2 passion, 1 doubt, net 2 misery, 1 passion. We can also, I'll use that example to show where it falls inside here. So find target mood, work backwards. The chart below shows the logic used by Clifford to arrive at each possible mood. So in this case, net trait total 0, not bored, so it's 2 misery, 1 passion. Net joy, misery, passion, doubt less than 2. Well, no, because 2 is equal to 2, not greater. So in this case, is net joy greater than 1? No. Net passion equals 0. It's not 0. Net passion greater than 1? Nope. No, it's equal to 1. Net doubt greater than 0? No. So, shy. Curiously enough... Oh no, sorry, I got this wrong. false is the hollow arrow. So net joy is not greater than 1, so it goes here. Net misery is greater than 1, so anxious. And now you can see why, when you have an 8-minute timer, this is not good. But the thing is, we never got to this point because we were still doing the erratic switching. So, page left blank. Emotional shutdown. Congratulations, you royally fucked Clifford up. Time to reset him. Now, big thing here. Erratically switching between moods indicates a faulty processor. That is not emotional shutdown, right? So, I mean, we can go for this, but what we need to focus on more is the processor. So, C1 is a switch and band, C2 rotators, C3 motors. So, what I would probably would have wanted to look at first would have been the motors. They would need to be rotating clockwise. Yeah, I'll go so far as to say this is a motor question most of the time I've been looking at this. So I'm not going to read complete... Like, basically, make sure these things are rotating clockwise. That's... Before I do anything, I'll worry about that. If I have to, like, mess with the motors, fine. We'll worry about that later. But right now, I just need to actually identify that it's rotating the direction that it needs to. I'm also conscious of the fact it would be nice to try and make some more progress in the game. I've only got like half an hour before I wrap up. Any goodies I can buy? I wouldn't say no to energy drink, but I feel we can do better. Hey, Paul's gone. Sorry I burned the coffee this morning. I should really know better. You didn't come last night. Tonight's your last chance to talk. Otherwise, bad shit might start to happen around here. Okie dokie. Bam. Let's see if we can do more than one of these today. Well, butter my nipples. A rest stop. Perhaps they sell nipple butter. Wait, is oil a thing? Yes. There's your problem right there. Well, there's your problem right there. Okay. These. rebreather is done. Alright, we can unfuck the shitter too. But only as a treat. I'm wasting so much time on this crap. There we go. Well, there's a problem right there. Well, I screwed up. So I'm not gonna mess with the bauble until I have something a little more to show for it. I'm not really worried about the expense of the refuel, but like that's not the sort of thing I want to be wasting time on. We have a chance to get this done with half the day available. Crap. Well, there's a problem right there. You definitely can increase the timer. It does cost me money. Alright, not a bad little total. I was expecting a bit more, but... Normally I can't because I don't have enough money for it, but I'm in the black now, so I will be able to extend it if I need. Damn, ain't that a bite. This will be interesting. I think actually in a... hang on. Greetings, brother. My companion requires medical care. Kindly aid it. I'm just gonna go ahead and say we'll extend the day right now. Oh, reactor present. We could die. That actually seems not too bad. So, oil... Okay, you know what? I might have... no. I was probably a bit premature with the timing there, to be honest. Well, I'm dead. There's an order I'm supposed to do these in. Right. I wasn't supposed to do that. All right. I'm actually gonna... I don't have enough time to start another run. That is a shame, because I was actually making some decent progress on that, but I am going to show where I went wrong, because there is a... the manual is on the website, so I will show where this went wrong. I will just maybe say, for those of you that specifically want to see gameplay, I will have to direct you to the next stream, which I'm planning to be on Wednesday. But for those of you that want to know where I messed this up, I'm actually not supposed to yank the core out like that. So... here is the PDF manual. Reactor. For authorized personnel only. Oh man, that was too fucking close. I'm still shaking. Note to self, these motherfuckers can land ready to blow. Read through this before you take another job, you dumb motherfucker. To safeguard the reactor from unqualified individuals, a security question will must first be answered. An incorrect response will result in a full system lockdown. If your reactor has been locked down by an unqualified individual, contact us and we will sue them into the ground. No win, no fee. We will rid the universe of these individuals and get rich doing it. Question display, response keys, display power button, display brightness slider. Reactor, upon gaining access, please follow closely the instructions within this literature to ensure successful maintenance and avoid a painful, albeit swift, death. So, fuel level display, coolant level display, reactant level display. Now that, I kind of felt these were all roughly where they needed to be. Fuel pump switch, which is up here, coolant rate slider, core stability display. This is the thing that I ignored that I shouldn't have. And then the core access bolts, which actually do need to be opened at a certain speed. Attention, before commencing any ship maintenance, check the core stability display. F. An unstable reactor core is an imminent danger. Take immediate action to avoid death. Evaluating stability, the greater the number of filled segments in the display, the more stable the reactor's core. See example below. If stability falling, it will continue to do so until the root cause is resolved. A change in stability makes an audible blip. Once the final center segment disappears, user has less than 10 seconds to prevent a fatal meltdown. Reactor stability is dependent on two resources: the fuel level of the ship's fuel module and the coolant level of the ship's cooler module. If the ship's fuel level drops below 50%, core stability will fall. Coolant plays a central role both in ensuring stability and slowing falls in stability. Ensure the cooler module is in good working order. Increasing stability. Ensure the fuel pump switch D is on and the fuel level display A reads at least halfway full. If below, a ship refuel is required. Follow the refueling process on the following page to reduce meltdown risk. Adjust the coolant rate slider E until the level on the coolant level display B matches the fuel level. If the coolant doesn't reach the required level, follow the instructions in the cooler section at the end of this literature. Attention, in the event that both coolant and fuel are depleted, ensure the fuel pump switch D is off. Set coolant rate slider to maximum. This is the refueling process. Note, if coolant level display doesn't reach maximum, it is advised to fill coolant first to ensure stability falls at the slowest rate possible during refueling. 3. Perform a refuel of the ship in accordance with fuel module manufacturer's documentation. 4. See increasing stability for further instructions. Reactant level. If the reactant level display is red, the reactor core must be replaced. Follow instructions overleaf. So this doesn't mean, in this case, I didn't need to replace the core, which is what I started doing because I was panicking. Reactor, replacing the core. Warning, the process of replacing the core will lower stability. Careful haste should be used to complete maintenance in a timely manner. Once outside the module, the core is inert. Turn off the fuel pump switch, set the coolant rate slider to minimum. Warning, stability will now begin to reduce. Loosen the core access bolts in the order pictured below. 1, 2, 3. Unclip the latches, retaining the core. Replace the reactor core, clip the latches onto the core, fasten the core access bolts in the order shown below. 1, 2, 3. See increasing stability for further instructions. Cooler. Before commencing cooler maintenance, check ship's reactor module for accurate fault diagnosis. So we've actually done this before. We basically just fill it full of... Oh, this is interesting. So I will confess, I'm not 100% sure where I went wrong. I suspect probably refueling created the problem. But of course, we'll never know because I can't go back to that level. So, anyways, I do apologize. I know I'm ending a little early, but then it is also, I had a late start tonight. So I am going to call it here just because I think about 20 minutes of Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop maybe won't be as fun as, just ending on a high/low note. What I will do, though, I like this game a lot, and I'm hoping for a few of you, maybe this was the first time you encountered it. I noticed that it is currently 50% off. So for me, that means $12.99 Canadian. And then there's a like a deluxe skin and art book if you want to get the the soundtrack and all of that. But yeah, for those of you that are so inclined, this is, in my opinion, quite a fun game. Now I think is a good time to pick it up because it's on sale. Gives you Shipbreaker vibes. Love the game. That's actually, I've never seen that comparison before, but I actually think that is not a bad comparison at all. Obviously, Shipbreaker's definitely, I have a Hard Space Shipbreaker, the one by it's a Blackbird? Anyways, Vancouver studio. Definitely doesn't have the humor, but absolutely the idea of like trying to scrape together a living off of like complicated and dangerous procedures. I actually think that is a good connection that I'm going to steal and use in future. I hope you don't mind. But yeah, like I said, I did want to take a minute here. I like this game enough that I want to share the Steam page, but I also know a few of you are waiting for a discount. So again, game's currently 50% off unless you're buying the deluxe skin and art book and soundtrack, in which case that's 35% off. But one to consider. Now, I hope I haven't talked all of you away yet, because I will find somebody to host tonight. I wonder if Iridian's still on. No, but Kilgore Trout is playing Arcanum of Steamworks and Magic. So Kilgore Trout is a member of the GOG stream team. So he plays a lot of classic games, usually on original hardware, and frequently actually talks about sort of what it was like to play the game when it first came out. So as far as game preservation is concerned, I actually rather like his channel for that purpose. It gives me maybe an appreciation that I don't always have. Like, I do enjoy some older games, but I'm also sort of self-aware enough to say, like, I feel that for several decades, like, there's been progress over several decades in terms of game design. So, like, I really like XCOM. I definitely prefer the Firaxis XCOMs, and I sometimes think that, like, it's maybe not so fun that the original XCOM plays to win, so you have a sectoid, like, running into the corner of the map, trying to win. Like, to me, that's not, like, I can't blame them. They were figuring out how to make XCOM games doing that. But, the drawback is because I have that bias towards, being spoiled with several decades of game development and some of the stuff that's inspired games that I like, it is kind of nice to watch Kilgore's stream to maybe gain an appreciation for the context and maybe some of the predecessors to some games that I've enjoyed. So I hope you all have a good evening. Enjoy Kilgore's channel. I will be back Wednesday, most likely for some more Uncle Chops. And on Friday, we'll be back to Cyberpunk. All right. Have a good one. Take care.